Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are Wisconsin.
Sunday afternoon, Miller Park, and the last time we'll see Major League Baseball here until 2015. It's kind of sad. But the Brewers and the Cubs ready to go at it for the final game of the season. Elian Herrera among the many Brewers signing autographs today, expecting a big crowd here today as we wrap up 2014. Hasn't gone the way everybody hoped, but some great moments and great memories nonetheless. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park for one last time in 2014. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Menard is our reporter today. All right, Rock, the last game of the year, the Brewers are going to send up Mike Fiers, and that's important because Fiers has had a fantastic year and looks like he's going to be a big part of the future here.
Oh, no kidding. The way he's thrown the baseball this year, you got to figure that Doug Melvin and the Brewers have to figure him a strong part of this starting rotation going into spring training next year. You can see 9 starts, a 6-4 record, and run support really an issue for Fiers. A 192 earned run at, and when you look at what he's been able to do start to start, he's only allowed more than 2 runs in a start only once. He gave up 3 runs against the Giants. He's lost his last 2, but he's pitched well, 14 innings. Only 3 runs allowed in his last 2 starts, hoping for a good, strong finish here this afternoon against Chicago.
Now, 5 of those 6 wins have come right here at Miller Park. He's got an ERA just over 1.5 in this venue. Speaking of finishing strong, Gene Segura has had a great month of September. He's back in the lineup, and we'll check in on him with our guys at the set when we continue.
Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. and by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Back here at beautiful Miller Park, what a gorgeous day to close out the finale of the 2014 baseball season. Cubs and Brewers, this series is locked up. The winner takes the series and goes home on a happy note. Craig Kashan alongside Davey Nelson and Jerry Augustine. I'm still pouting because I didn't get the call on the wardrobe here today, but that's okay. We're still talking baseball, guys, and we're talking Gene Segura right here, but he has had a tough year at the plate. But the last month, something has sparked for him. And Davey, I want to start with you. How important is the final month of the season been for Gene Segura to finish strong?
Well, I think it's been very important because Gene, has gone through a lot of problems this year, off the field stuff. But I'm going to tell you, this guy is not having a sophomore jinx because, you totally flop when you have that sophomore jinx. But he's had some bright spots. His defense is, on the whole, has been pretty good. But offensively, though, that's the key for him, is that he's staying within himself now, and he's got that confidence back at the plate.
Davey, and it's also always that development factor. With young ball players, you can have a great year, you come back, you want to duplicate it and be consistent. One thing with Gene Segura in the last month, he's starting to let the ball come to him, and it's really made a big difference.
So Gene Segura and the Brew Crew trying to close it out on a positive note here today. The season finale about to get underway. Expect another nice crowd here at Miller Park for the final time this season. It's all coming up next.
Great day for a ball game. Great day to do a lot of stuff today. 70 degrees. The roof is open, at least halfway open, marking the shadows here. And we're ready for the final game of the regular season. That is Rick Renteria back there, finishing up his first season as the skipper of the Chicago Cubs. They come in at 72 and 89, last in the Central Division. His Associated Bank lineup looks like this, with Coughlin, Baez, and Rizzo at the top. Same in all of these games of this series. You see Rizzo is red hot right now. Soler, Valbuena, and Alcantara in the middle of the order. That remains the same as well. And then some changes. You got Chris Valleca at second base. John Baker will catch. And Jacob Turner is on the mound for the Cubs. And there is Mike Fiers. 6 wins, 5 at Miller Park, and trying to finish with a bang here today as we head into the offseason.
And you figure his stock could not be any higher than it is right now. Fiers has been outstanding, making his second start this year against the Cubs back on August 14th at Wrigley Field. established a career high in strikeouts, 14 punch-outs, 1 walk, and 6 innings of work in a Brewers victory, making start number 10 today.
Well, it's been a tough season, a tough finish, disappointing finish. The Brewers will line up defensively this way. Logan Schaefer gets a start in center field today with Parra in left. You got Braun in right. The infield is Ramirez, Segura, Herrera, and Lucroy. Maldonado finally gets in there behind the plate after Lucroy's record-setting double last night. That's the Menards Brewers defense. And good to see a couple of guys get some playing time today on the last day of the year. Maldonado and Herrera, they've been anxiously awaiting their moments. Fires first pitch to Coughlin is in there for a strike, and away we go. Well, we'll have some fun today. As I mentioned, it's been a frustrating finish to the year, but this is a day to remember how lucky we are to have Major League Baseball in Milwaukee in this great venue and these great fans here in Milwaukee. Bob Uecker's going to come over, spend a couple of innings with us.
Right.
And we'll have some fun with him on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And then we'll start the preparations for 2015. It won't be long until we're back on the air in Phoenix, Arizona. We'll be ready for it.
Now, it's amazing how quickly the season goes. I mean, things were going so well in the beginning, and even through the struggles, it's been a lot of fun this year. Some very good individual performances for this Brewers ball club, and I know each and every one of these guys looking within themselves and figuring what they could have done to make things different at the end of the season this year. But still in all, it's a game, it's baseball, and gonna miss it.
Coughlin fouls it away, stays alive in a 2-2 count. And we had Mark Atanasio on yesterday, and although the owner was visibly upset, his comments reflected that. He did make a good point about the idea that you don't just blow everything up. The Brewers do have a lot going for them as an organization, as a major league roster, their staff, and just got to make some tweaks here and there and hopefully get right back in the mix next year. Encouraging young pitching. I wouldn't put Fiers in the young category. He's 29 years of age, but Fiers is relatively new to this role. He had a good year in 2012. Kind of a lost year last season with injury and tragedy off the field, losing his mother. But he's come back in a big way as he walks Coughlin to start his afternoon.
Yeah, Coughlin's been a tough out throughout this series. Has been able to reach base to lead off the game all 3 games of this series. The Jonathan Lucroy getting a start at first base, coming in at a .299 batting average, 1 double short of the franchise record for doubles. That's why he's in the lineup today.
Yeah, he set the major league record for doubles by a catcher in a single season. Javier Baez at the plate, fouls it away. I've had some milestones this year. It's a little surprising that Ricky Weeks was not in the lineup. I thought maybe he would start today's game. Could be his final game as a Brewer. It's Herrera instead. Weeks collected his 1,000th career hit as a Brewer earlier this year. We'll be keeping an eye on all the baseball around the big leagues today as well. There's some postseason implications in the final day of the regular season, and it is possible we could have 3 tiebreaker games tomorrow, and those would count in the regular season statistics.
It'd be a busy day. There could be 3, there could be none. We'll see how it plays out today, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day, final day of the regular season, and hope you enjoy baseball enough to carry it through to the postseason, even though the Brewers aren't in it. Some good storylines out there. Congratulations to the Kansas City Royals. They're one of those teams that could end up in a tiebreaker. There goes Coughlin, swing and a miss. Maldonado's throw is low, and Herrera did all he could to hang in there.
Yeah, good throw, and Coghlan's going to be out easily at second base. Not often you see Maldonado short hop the second baseman, but he hasn't been back there in quite some time. It's been a long time between starts for Maldonado. Maybe a bit rusty with that throwing arm.
It looked like it caught the bare hand of Herrera. You got to appreciate the way Herrera just hung right in there trying to make a play on that throw. It'll go as a stolen base, number 7 for Coghlan. Baez has a runner in scoring position here in this first inning. A 1-2 count. And he got him. Went with a fastball and a strikeout for Fiers.
Yeah, did it on the fastball. He's been throwing a good cut fastball. The four-seamer's been good. And the big overhand curveball and the changeup. Basically a 4-pitch pitcher, and has been able to command all of them in each one of his first 9 starts this year.
Now here is Anthony Rizzo, the big bat in this Cubs lineup. Had 3 hits in this series, has a couple of doubles, drove in a run with a double with 2 outs yesterday. Brewers won a good one yesterday, 2-1 the final score. Willie Peralta picked up his 17th win as Fiers misses down and in. Mike Fiers is in our AT&T U-verse rewind, and we take you back to his start against the Chicago Cubs. Struck out 14 batters against the Cubs. That was his second start for Milwaukee. That was back on August 14th. And what a performance it was. 6 shutout innings, 14 Ks in the 6 innings. So of the 18 outs he recorded, all but 4 of them were via the strikeout.
Yeah, part of a 4-game winning streak to start his season. First start came on August 9th. Won 4 in a row, lost the game, and then won 2 in a row. And right now in the midst of a 2-game losing streak, but he's pitched very well in both of his last 2 starts.
Ball and a strike on Rizzo. Long look from Fiers. And Rizzo swings and misses. Always curious with hitters after a long pause like that. A lot of guys will just call timeout, or ask for it anyway, and step out.
Kind of tense up a little bit the longer you stand there ready for a pitch. Ask for time doesn't mean you're going to get timeout.
Notice a lot of pitchers, and that's always been a tactic by a number of pitchers. Francisco Rodriguez does that in the 9th inning of games. Try to get him to hold it there as long as you can, and Rizzo doesn't miss this one. That is way back and gone. Anthony Rizzo, a 2-run home run, and the Cubs are on the board first here today.
Man, that's the thing about Rizzo. You get him out with fastballs up. You can't throw it down and in for sure. And Rizzo, who stands right on top of home plate with number 32 in the season, RBI 77 and 78. And a big fly for Rizzo. That's not where you want it. You got to get that up above the belt, right around the numbers, and you have a chance to get him out, but not down there. Well, his home runs in the first inning for Fiers his last time out. This time a 2-run shot by Rizzo.
Fiers giving up 2 home runs against the Reds in his last start, and had been able to keep the home run ball to a minimum. Matter of fact, Fiers has only given up 5 home runs all season, 2 coming in that start against Cincinnati last week in his 9 starts.
Had 2 outs, nobody on. Back-to-back home runs by Todd Frazier and Mesoraco, and that's all he would allow.
Soler, a fly ball to shallow right. Braun, a long run to get there. 2 outs in the inning. Jorge Soler is retired.
And that was a long run for Braun. He was playing deep. They had Herrera shaded up the middle, and would have been tough for him to get there.
Luis Valbuena with 2 away. Hitless in the series thus far. He's turned out to have a nice year for the Cubs. He's hit 16 home runs. He is a plus defender at third base. A lot of people trying to give his job away with all the talented young prospects the Cubs have, and they have a couple more infield prospects coming. Chris Bryant is the next one on the list who can play third base, but I think Valbuena's making sure they don't forget about him.
Yeah, he can swing the bat. I mean, he is dangerous. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark, particularly when you play at Wrigley Field. And with a team that typically struggles defensively, he is one of the bright spots. He's very good over there at third base.
You wonder if the Cubs are going to be active this offseason. They've got a lot of trade pieces. They have the kinds of prospects assembled that a lot of teams would be interested in.
Need some pitching, though.
Yep, if they need to go get a starting pitcher, that would be the best way to do it.
They sent away a lot of starting pitching this year. They had a pretty good starting rotation. Veteran guys they traded away for some of these prospects.
Yeah, think about the guys they have traded over the last few years. You got the Ryan Dempster trade, brought them some prospects. Matt Garza was traded last year. That brought them 4 pieces in their minor league system. And they traded Samardzija and Jason Hamill earlier this year to the A's.
You got to give to get, right? So you trade away all of your starting pitching, and lo and behold, that's what they need going into the offseason.
The former Cub, Matt Garza, he's done for the year. He pulled out of his last start, which was supposed to be Friday, with shoulder stiffness. In the air to center, pretty well hit. Schaefer right there playing deep. He's got it, and that will retire the side. A 2-run homer by Rizzo. He continues to haunt the Brewers this season. And Chicago is on top. That is Gerardo Parra in the leadoff spot here today. Lineup brought to you by Associated Bank. Parra, Braun, and Lucroy at the top. Ramirez, Segura, Maldonado in the middle with Schaefer, Herrera, and Fires rounding it out. And that lineup will face Jacob Turner.
Well, it's supposed to be Kyle Hendricks, but he's not going to go. His innings limits have been reached, so Turner getting the start. The Cubs picked him up from the Marlins on August 8th, making start number 6 with the Cubs. And 1-4 in his first 5 starts, and he's lost 3 in a row, having a rough time of it. An earned run average over 6, a 5-11 record between the Marlins and the Cubs so far this year.
Well, no Carlos Gomez in the lineup today. Gerardo Parra gets a start. Might see Gomez later in the ball game. We'll see about that. Parra's been a nice addition for the Brewers, and he is under contract for next year as well. 2-time Gold Glove award-winning outfielder.
Yep, and the more you see him, the more you like him, the more that he can do for you to help you win. Defensively, on the bases, swings the bat. Be a big part of next year's team.
24-year-old Jacob Turner today. 18th start of the year. Cubs got him from the Marlins. Actually pitched against Milwaukee as a Marlin as he strikes out Gerardo Parra to start the first inning.
Well, let's check out the Cubs Menards defense today. Coghlan, Alcantara, and Soler in the outfield. Alcantara, first 2 games of this series, played second base. Valbuena, Baez, Valleca gets to start at second base. Rizzo with the 2-run home run in the first inning at first, and John Baker, third different starting catcher in the series for Chicago.
Here's Ryan Braun with 1 away. Braun sitting on 19 home runs, 81 driven in. Trying to make it a 20-homer campaign. He's hit 20 homers in 6 of his first 7 years in the major leagues.
Well, the Brewers are hoping that he's going to be able to get healthy again, get that thumb issue figured out in the offseason. Not sure what the plan is for that, but that certainly has had an impact on him this year.
Ryan said he has explored surgery with the medical staff, but the surgery, if he does have surgery, it doesn't guarantee that it'll heal the injury. It's a nerve injury, and it's a little bit too much of a risk for him right now, he said.
Man, no guarantees. Even if he has it, it's going to work.
Well, the Brewers need him. He is in a big contract that goes until the 2020 season. And he has to be one of the primary pieces of the offense. Braun's had a rough second half. He's always swung the bat well against the Cubs in his career. Full count to Braun. And that's down and in. Ball 4. So Ryan draws the walk. Got a base runner here for Jonathan Lucroy. And he'll get a nice ovation or a Luke on his way up. Well, last night Lucroy set a piece of Major League history is in our Southwest Airlines non-stoppable play. That was a double to set the Major League record for doubles in a season by a catcher. That was the 46th. He was tied with Pudge Rodriguez, who set the record in 1996, and now he stands alone as the doubles leader in a single season by a prime catcher.
I think Luke thought that double would never come. It took him a week, but he got it.
7 games without, and then he finally delivered last night. He had 3 hits last night. He's hitting .299 starting play today. Has to go 1 for 2 or better to hit .300 this year. Fantastic year all the way around for Lucroy. Ground ball over to third base, and that will start a 5-4-3 double play. So Turner is out of the first, so we're on our way to the second. Last game of the season at Miller Park. 2-0 Cubs.
Mike Fiers, since being recalled from AAA Nashville on August 9th, has been one of the best in the National League. His ERA of 1.84 and 64 strikeouts for him since that time, among the National League leaders since that period, including a run in the month of August when he was the Brewers Pitcher of the Month, going 4-1. And talking with Mike Fiers over the weekend about this final start, he said just the biggest difference for him with this run compared to when he came up to 2012 is just staying focused the whole year, not allowing the September collapse to happen to him that it did in 2012. And he said he's going into the offseason with the mentality that he needs to work hard. He feels like he's taken advantage of the opportunity here, but says I need to go into the spring training with the same confidence that I have now and know that I need to earn my spot, and I'm certainly going to try to do that heading into the offseason.
Yeah, it has been an interesting year for him, and a year where he says his confidence is up, and he's had a lot of success, so that works well when your confidence is up. It's the old chicken or the egg theory. But for Fiers, he's made a couple of adjustments with pitches that have allowed him to achieve this kind of success, not just at AAA, but here in the major leagues. And he is ranking among the best in the business since he got here, as he strikes out Alcantara looking to start the inning.
And he picked up that cut fastball that I think has really helped him. I mean, not just getting outs early in counts, not having to think about all the strikeouts, but he's been able to command it pretty well. The four-seamer, the cutter, the changeup, and the big curveball. And he's really been able to throw all four of those pitches for strikes pretty much throughout his time here, all 10 starts.
Now, he has featured that changeup a lot more this time around, and that's the pitch that is allowing him to get back in counts when he does fall behind. It's a split change, and you're starting to hear a lot more about that pitch. It is coming back in a big way. It's kind of an old-fashioned forkball, really, where you just split the fingers to take some velocity off. Valleca into left center, and Parra will run that one down. This could be the biggest pitch of Fiers' career moving forward, that split change.
You see it not really spread as much as the split fingered fastball. It takes a little bit off, and players will do whatever they can really to just have the same delivery that they have on the fastball, the same arm speed, but it's all about the grip and what feels comfortable for each individual pitcher. That's what they're going to do, whatever feels comfortable, being able to throw that pitch for strikes.
And Fiers now has 4 pitches that he's confident he can throw for strikes at any time. The evolution of a pitcher.
And that pitch right there, that big overhand curveball at 72 miles an hour.
2 outs for John Baker. Baker has been operating as the backup this year for the Cubs behind Wellington Castillo. Has hit for a low average. Solid defender back there. And there's that pitch again, and Fiers with a couple of Ks in the second inning. He has 3. A 3-up, 3-down second, 2-0 Cubs. Rizzo, first inning 2-run homer. And the Brewers are coming up now in the bottom of the second. How about our Chase playoff update in the National League? The Cardinals, they lost last night. The Pirates did as well, so that race is still up for grabs. Pittsburgh is a game back of St. Louis. A Pirates win today in Cincinnati, and they are underway. And a Cardinals loss in Arizona will force a tiebreaker game tomorrow to see who wins the division and who goes into the wild card. All 5 teams are going to be in the postseason. You just don't know who plays who at this point. Washington and the Dodgers have secured division titles already.
Yeah, Kansas City with a 1-0 lead against the White Sox. They're in the second inning.
Kansas City is a game back of the Tigers. Tigers have a 1-0 lead over the Twins in the 5th inning. So if those scores hang up, Tigers will win the division. Kansas City will go into the wild card. The second American League wild card spot still up for grabs as Aramis Ramirez takes a ball.
Pirates are going to have to wait around to see their fate. If they beat Cincinnati today, it's tied at 1 in the 5th. St. Louis is out in Arizona. They don't start for a while.
Yeah, what do you do as a team? Because if the Pirates win and the Cardinals lose, then they'll have to go to Pittsburgh. Will have to go to St. Louis for the tiebreaker tomorrow.
Sit around and wait.
Yeah, maybe stop down at Fountain Square and get some Skyline chili.
Because you know there's going to be something going on there.
There's always something going on there. Aramis Ramirez will lead the way here in the second inning. Into right field, coming in Soler. And one away. Well, that'll bring up Gene Segura. He was in our spotlight in our open. The guys at the set exploring his month of September and the farmland what's cooking. That would be Segura in the month of September. That's got to be a comforting feeling for him that after a very tough year offensively, he'll have a little something to take into the offseason.
Yeah, sometimes you get into those stretches like Segura was in. You feel like you're never going to get hits again, but Segura seems to be more relaxed at the plate for whatever reason and waiting back and driving the ball back through the middle, just like he did last year.
Sophia Minard, our reporter today, she's got a little more on Segura. What do you have, Sophia?
Well, Ron Renicky said certainly the at-bats have been much better for Siggy over the last few weeks, and said that conversely the defense has gotten better too. So he said it's good to see Siggy get back to himself after all of the struggles that he's gone through this season, and said that there has been some conversations about having him play winter ball. Again, he did not play any winter ball at all last season, and said that they want to allow him the opportunity to play perhaps this season to get going and maybe help him get off to a quicker start like he did last season. They have not made a decision yet on that, but said it would likely be the later end of the winter ball season leading up to spring training.
Yeah, give him a month off, maybe a month to 6 weeks off, and then go back at it again. And as Sophia talking about, at the end of the winter ball season, and so he'll be ready for spring.
No, he likes playing winter ball, and it's there's a lot of pressure on Dominican players and all Latin players in their home country to play for your team, to continue in winter ball. It's such a great league down there as well. A lot of major leaguers play in winter ball in the Caribbean. High level of baseball. And there's a little pride that comes with the team you play with, or your town team, or local pride in your country. Segura won a batting title in winter ball a couple of off seasons ago, and he also is trying to cement some mechanical changes he has made under the tutelage of Johnny Narin. And he takes a walk, so Segura will reach.
And a lot of times, you know, starting to get hits begins with waiting back, taking pitches, and swinging at good pitches, taking the pitches out of the strike zone. Something that Johnny Narin has been trying to get him to do all season.
Well, Segura has 19 stolen bases. This might be a spot where you'd see him on the move. Martin Maldonado at the plate. And there he goes, and Maldonado lets him run, and there it is for Segura. 20 steals this year.
Not even close. Baker bobbled it when he tried to make the transfer. I think he wouldn't have had much of a chance. Decent leg kick, and Segura often running top speed quickly and no throw.
Segura stole 44 bases last season. And if he's hitting and getting on base at a higher clip, that's usually where he's going to end up, in that 30 to 40 range. I mean, the fact that he stole 20 bases and he's had such a poor year offensively and getting on base gives you great defense. You know that. As Maldonado drops a bunt down, that's going to be played by Valbuena, and he throws it away. Segura will score. Maldonado to second, and he is safe.
Oh boy, comedy of errors right there. I mean, Valleca took an awfully long time to get rid of that ball. I think if he gets to it quickly and throws it quickly, he gets Maldonado at second base. Yeah, Martin likes to drop down that bunt. You see the third baseman Valbuena way behind the bag, and this one not even close. Rizzo doesn't even try to go after it. There's an error. And Maldonado very quickly makes the turn and gets to second base. Boy, not even close to where he was trying to throw that baseball. Valleca kind of taking his time getting rid of it, and Maldonado gets in there safely.
So a run comes in to score. 2-1 is the score. The Brewers are down a run. Here's Logan Schaefer. That was scored as a sacrifice bunt and an E5. Schaefer a chance to tie it up. Well, Logan Schaefer wearing number 1. That number will be retired after this game today. That number is going to belong to Bud Selig. They're going to have a ceremony next year. And no Brewer player will ever wear number 1 again. Chopper to second base. Schaefer runs well. Valleca to first. Not in time. Infield hit for Logan Schaefer. First and third for the Brewers.
A couple of plays for Valleca that looked like slow motion. Got there, took a while to get there, and then the long delivery to first base, and Schaefer hustling down that line. Check it out. Takes him a while to get rid of it, and Logan able to beat it at first base.
Yeah, clearly safe. First and third with 1 out. Here is Elian Herrera.
Might be a spot where you just stay put if you're Logan Schaefer. If he steals, they probably just put Herrera on.
Pitcher spot coming up next in Fires. Herrera's another guy that likes to bunt. Not sure if it calls for a squeeze in a spot like this with the pitcher coming up, but Herrera's one who can do it.
Although 1 out here in the inning, you might just chance it and have him, if they figure that if they feel as though they have something on Turner, as far as something that he does that gives away that he's going to home plate, might take off. Get another man in scoring position, load the bases for Fires.
And Herrera in the air, left field. Maldonado does not run well at third. Coghlan makes the catch, and Maldonado will stop. Coughlin's got a good arm. Snap throw to first. Schaefer just back. So the second out, and the way out of the inning for Jacob Turner by retiring the 8th place hitter.
Yeah, good throw by Coghlan out there. He had his momentum going toward home plate, and yeah, with Maldonado at third base, no chance to send him.
So here comes Fires, still looking for his first RBI of the year as a hitter. Has 1 hit this season. And a ground ball right to the shortstop, Baez. He'll take it the easy way. That will retire the side. And the Brewers get a run. Cubs make an error that leads to that run. 2-1 Cubs. Ball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin, and by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Always something fun to do at Miller Park. The miniature Bernie's slide. Yeah, that's the real McCoy right there. The big slide. Bernie would love to take a few trips down that slide today after a Brewers home run. On a beautiful Sunday afternoon, Mike Fiers and the Brewers down 2-1 to the Cubs as we head to the third inning.
I think I might go down that little one.
I don't think the little one would
You don't think it'd hold
allow
up?
for such girth.
No chance I go down the big one.
Some pretty sharp corners on the little slide, you know.
I know, yeah.
So run the risk of getting wedged in there.
Might need some work when I'm done. Both of us. Me and the slide.
Pull it up off its moorings. Well, Jacob Turner would lead off for the Cubs. Fiers back to work to start his third inning. And he's in there with a strike. Well, we're pleased to have Bob Uecker. He's kind enough to join us on the air. Pleased, just wrapping up his 95th year in the booth. And
yeah.
Well, how you doing? You
good?
Great to see you. Thanks for coming over.
Oh yeah, are you kidding? Oh, this is good exposure.
You need the exposure.
I need it. I do.
You need the airtime. You need to promote him a little bit.
Get yourself out there.
Yeah. Could I say my name a couple more times?
Sure,
yeah.
Rock and I were thinking we'd take off and you'd call the next few innings. So.
Well, I'll be around. You know, I'm in. Whatever you guys need.
I'm just hoping this time that a Brewer hits a home run, you could do the call, because VA wouldn't let you do that in Chicago.
I know.
I was back at home watching, and I was waiting for it, but it never happened.
No, and he asked me about it, and I said sure. And then each time it came, he blew me off. You know, which is okay.
I just gave him the Heisman.
Which is
well, in my defense, they weren't exactly long gone.
No,
you know?
they weren't.
I didn't want to turn it over to the master.
They were in the basket.
Off the wall.
They were basket jobs. Yeah, they were in basket out there.
And it's not like they're coming, but so you could just hand it over to them.
Not there. Not in Wrigley Field. That spider-infested booth.
That is the truth.
They put them things in there every time we go there.
Yeah, it's just us.
I know they're not. Nobody else says anything about it.
They come creeping down from the top of the booth window, and
only at Wrigley Field. Well, we have one out here in the third inning, and Mr. Baseball Bob Uecker going to spend a couple of innings with us. We have a lot to talk about. But yesterday we had Mark Atanasio on. Not that I want to get a little serious here because you've seen a lot of baseball in your life. But how do you
even as a player? I didn't play. I saw a lot.
Soft liner out to Herrera. All right, make us feel better about the season, Uke. It's been a tough season, frustration. Put it in context for us.
I think Rocky's been there. We've both been there, and when you have a year like the Brewers have had, and they certainly had, in my estimation anyway, they had enough to win, at least to get to the postseason. And whatever happens with individual players, and it seems to become contagious. And the one thing that you got to be happy with is the bullpen and the starting staff. I mean, you can't do much better than they did, indicative of that last road trip. But I've been there. I've been in the clubhouse. Rocky's been in there. You've lost 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row, 10 in a row, and everybody's in there. And it's worse today because we have social media. Not that there's anything bad with that. I'm just saying everything gets out sometimes before you go to bat.
Right. It's crazy.
And that's the tough part of it. And the problem, it's not a problem. This is the way things are today in everything, not only sports, multi-year contracts.
Right.
You have a multi-year contract, and you're making the kind of money that players make today. What are you going to do? You're going to have an enforcer in the clubhouse, and you know what? Sometimes that doesn't do any good either.
Right.
You got to have a group of individual players, guys who play well together, mix well together. And managers shouldn't have to be scout leaders. That shouldn't have to happen at this level.
It should be the players policing themselves.
That's always what I say. And if you have that kind of a club, and you've been there, Rock.
Right.
Baez lines one to left, and that bounce. That's a base hit for Baez. Good effort by Parra, but Javier Baez with his first hit of the day. Continue, you.
Well, I'm saying it's happened in the clubhouse many times where a clubhouse meeting, when players say, no coaches, no manager, we're going to have a closed-door meeting. Well, sometimes it got a little testy. Sometimes guys, started duking it out.
Calling each other out a little bit, right? I mean,
some guy didn't like particularly what you said about him and his style of play,
right.
which was a problem. And you get it done, and it's fixed. And nobody ever finds out about it after the doors are open.
Right.
Nobody knows what happened. So that's part of the problem. And I mean, again, with multi-year contracts, and you know how long some of these contracts run for eons. And what are you going to do? That's our society today. That's the way we live in sports today. That's bottom line.
That's a great point. And we've talked a lot about. We did a pregame show about this today. The coaches and the manager. Nobody wears it like those guys. Those guys are trying to put the right pieces together. That goes for the front office, the general manager, the owner. And Mark was really upset yesterday, and I don't blame him. He owns his team. He expects more, and these fans expect more. But I like also what Mark said about. It's not necessarily the point where you blow everything up.
No.
Maybe a tweak here or there, and you could get yourself right back in a position to contend next season.
I think something like that has to happen. The bottom line we have here is the fan base, okay? We've had great fan support here for forever. And when you look at the bottom line, when you're drawing almost 3 million people a year and you're not having a good season, players certainly aren't happy. They don't like to finish where they finish. But the bottom line is you have to do something.
As Rizzo singles to right, Baez is going to keep on trucking here. He'll end up at third base. And it's first and third for the Cubs with 2 away.
You have to satisfy your fan base. You have to let them know that you're okay, we didn't finish where we wanted to. We didn't have the kind of a season we wanted to have, so we have to make a change someplace. Now you're getting into the multi-year contract guys. Do you get rid of a multi-year contract guy who you obviously liked a lot and gave him that deal, or do you start looking around at a couple of guys that are very doable big-time players? Mm-hmm. Do you make a move there with them and then look at your farm system to see what you have to cover that? And if you don't have anything to cover it, now you're getting a little testy. Now it's going to be a little tougher.
Bottom line, it does come down to the guys that you signed for a long term.
Absolutely.
You can't really pin it all on guys that just got here 1 year, or
Nope.
rookies, or guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it really comes down to in the end.
It's true. And talking about the guy playing at first base today, Jonathan Lucroy. When Ron Renneke talked to him today about getting a couple of at-bats to get back to 300, if he can come up with a base hit or two to get back to 300, Jonathan Lucroy's reply was, I don't care about 300, I want to play.
And I want to win.
That's what he said.
Right.
I want to win. So, I mean, there's one of your multi-year guys who, he's not worried about the scoreboard or what he sees up there as far as personal stuff goes. He's in there. He's in there.
And it's really amazing that he hit all the doubles, I mean, you know how it is.
Yep.
I mean, catching is no picnic back
No.
there. And he was able to stay in the lineup. I think it was 133 games behind home plate.
Yeah,
and,
he leads the team in games played. Yeah, I mean, he's had a great year, and we've watched him many times.
And noticeably upset about how things have gone on the last couple of weeks. I mean, his demeanor has been so much different over the last couple of weeks because of the way the team has played, and he takes it personally.
He does, and the other thing, Bill, is I mean, nobody wants to go out there and lose. No player wants to. I haven't seen one yet that goes out there and wants to lose or wants to do badly. Not here, anyway.
Right.
I did myself a couple of times, but no. I haven't seen anybody. The guys are upset because of the way they finished. Not the pitching staff, not the bullpen. But the other thing that I look at is the end of the season. We're out of it. Players are talking, we're out of it. They weren't out of it on the last road trip.
Right.
They were still very much in it. But as I said at the start, the hitting stuff, lack of hitting, becomes contagious because some guys try too hard, and
that's the thing. I mean, just trying to do too much. I mean, trying to hit the big home runs and things like that. And it's all about trusting the guy in front of you and behind you in the batting order. If they don't give you a pitch to hit, take it. But that's something that everybody deals with. Every player goes up there, and once you learn that you don't have to do it all by yourself,
it's
and
easy
have confidence
to say,
in that guy, right? Oh, it is absolutely.
Yeah.
Real easy from up here, isn't it?
Yeah, always easy to say. And again, having been there, done that, I was asking Jonathan Lucroy a couple of nights ago. I think in the first inning, he took one off the mask that kind of rattled him again. Mm-hmm. And I asked him the next night, and he said, that was a good one. And, I mean, he's done that so many times this year. We've watched him, along with other catchers. They all get it. But sometimes you have one of those seasons where, I mean, if a vendor throws something, it's going to hit you.
Hits you with a bag of peanuts, right? He seems to get it more than most, doesn't he?
Oh, man, it's unbelievable.
Like twice, 3 times a day.
Yeah. And I look at that mask that they wear today, that titanium mask, in difference to what we wore years ago, and I wore mine even after the game.
That big heavy one.
Yeah, big heavy thing, man. Wire, but padded, and you never felt anything. Not like today.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the way we play today. I mean, that's the equipment we use, and I don't think it's better. I really don't. But it's lighter for sure.
You get style points.
Yeah, you do that. That's the other thing today. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. You're right.
Maldonado's got the hockey-style mask. Long battle here between Soler and Fires. Runners at the corners. Rizzo takes off, and there's a swing and a miss. Good hook by Mike Fires and a strikeout of Soler. He's racking them up again against the Cubs. He has 5 today. More with you when we continue. Today, final day of the regular season. We'll wrap it up this afternoon. Cubs lead 2-1, bottom of the 3rd inning. Bob Uecker spending a little time with us. We always like to get him over here on the TV side, and you know he's all on radio. But
I love it over here. No, this is great.
Well, you have an open invitation. You know we always enjoy having you.
That's great.
Fun to catch up, and we got into some serious stuff there, and it has been a frustrating season, but it's still great to be alive here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Look at this ballpark and this venue, and you know, hopefully the Brewers can get it going next year, and you're always good for perspective on that matter. How has the season gone for you? I know you cut your schedule back a little bit. Has it been tough?
No, not really. I still enjoy doing the games, and if I wanted to, I could do all the games. I just thought, hey, why not cut out a couple of trips, you know, and go out and enjoy myself and try to find out where I live, you know, what house I'm in. No, I always enjoy the games. I really do. There's nothing wrong with me physically, mentally, yes, but not physically.
Something else.
You know what we miss the most out there when Uke's not on the trips? I always say the 4 o'clock bus to the ballpark. It's the best comedy show in America still, and those 20 minutes or thereabouts. So Joe Block is not holding up the radio into the donkey.
Yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, we're working on it. He's working small market areas, you know, just to get him ready to come back.
He's brushing up his act a little bit.
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to this point in the season. You've been doing this a long time. I mean, the last game of the season, it was kind of a disappointing day.
I am.
You know, I mean, you're going to miss it.
I always am. I really am. I mean, when you think of how fast now, I think how fast the season went by, it doesn't seem like we've been around all that time, but here we are, and it's the end. And, you know, now you're waiting another 6 months.
Now, Parra down on strikes here.
At what point in the offseason do you kind of feel like you get the itch to get back at it again?
I'll be honest with you, Rock, about a month. You know, a month. I'll tell you what. When you guys leave on a trip and I don't go, I have a very tough time. I really do. I'm being serious with that.
Right.
You know, at 3 o'clock every day or 2:30, I know I'm supposed to be going to the ballpark and I'm not. And then I have to watch. And I'm not there, and that's hard. It is. It's. I can see where you know, it's no different than retiring as a player. I mean, that was easier for me, but to you know, to shut this down and not do anything regarding the game except watch it and listen, it's tough. It really is.
I think how long you've been going to the ballpark, quote unquote. You've been going to the ballpark your whole life.
Yeah, next year will be 60 years.
Yeah, I mean, 60 years.
Yeah.
In the big leagues, or is that professional baseball? We call it
that's professional baseball.
Professional baseball. So from the time you started as a minor league player, and wow,
exactly.
So 60 years. That sign's still up there under the roof of 50 years. We gotta update that. There's going to be a couple of things updated up there.
That was the salary Bud Selig paid me. That's $50 a week. Yeah.
Yeah, his number's going to be up there, number one. Talk about Bud a little bit. I mean, you guys have been good friends for a long, long time.
He's the best, man. Matter of fact, I saw him the other night. He's wearing a sport coat with number 1 on the back of it.
Never knew that was his number.
Yeah, I didn't either. You know, I asked him what he would have played if he would have been an actual player. He didn't know. He said he didn't know, which is good.
Had a nice moment with Commissioner Selig here the other day as Braun sends one to right. Soler cuts across to make the play, and there is out number 2. So Bud Selig wrapping up his tenure as commissioner and has made this tour all across baseball. And he was in Milwaukee on Friday, and I know he stopped by, and you guys always are in contact anyway. But what do you expect out of the commissioner post retirement?
Well, a lot of here's what he asked me to do the other night. He asked me if I would be part of his subject matter for one of his teaching jobs at Marquette or Wisconsin.
He's not teaching biology, is he?
Well, I don't know. That's the bottom line. That's the next thing. What he's teaching or what he's talking about. So I told him, I said, I would do that if he would come and...
Lucroy lines one to right, and Soler leaps and makes the catch rudely, cutting off Bob Uecker's story about Bud Selig.
Which that's Soler anyway.
Continue that when we come back. More with Uecker. We're headed to the Cubs half of the 4th. Airlines, without a heart, it's just a machine. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. Well, we're having some fun here today at Miller Park. The Brewers and the Cubs. Cubs have the lead 2-1. Bob Uecker's providing most of that fun for us as he continues to join us here in the booth in between his play-by-play call on the radio. We promise we'll get him back over there. Joe Block is holding the fort down by himself. Valbuena drops a bunt down, and it's going to hang in the grass. That'll be an infield hit for Luis Valbuena, perfectly placed.
Now, it's one of the things that we do with our infields, right, Rock? Some of them bend the other way.
Right.
But for the home team, and it should be the home team guys that know that, the infield always kind of stays either flat or it bends in toward the mound a little bit when you drop those little bunt base hits.
Yeah, Ramirez waiting for that ball to roll off the grass, never did. If it rolled off the grass, it probably would have rolled foul.
Yep.
But it's kind of the way things go sometimes. Even on that last road trip.
What are you going to do?
How many of those kind of hits and infield, jam shots and just part of the game. Brewers have an opportunity offensively to get the same kind of hits, but just one of those things that last road trip. But what are you going to do?
The pitching, you couldn't have asked for anything better out of the bullpen. I mean, it was good. But it was, the sad thing was when you stay in first place for that long and you have that kind of a lead coming into the final month, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's gone, and it went quick.
A couple of teams got pretty hot. The Cardinals, the Pirates, those guys just wouldn't lose.
But you're always going to get that from St. Louis. That's I don't know what it is with the Cardinals and the Brewers, and especially there. But they, you play a 1-0 game, and the Cardinals win. You play a 2-1 game, we win once in a while, and then the next game the Cardinals come right back, and then they throw Adam Wainwright at you. You know what you're going to get out of that guy,
right.
And he's working today. And look what's happened with the Cardinals and the Pirates.
Well, the Pirates are a game back today. St. Louis lost last night. Could be an interesting day tomorrow in baseball. It
Big
could
time.
be 3 tiebreakers. Now, when the season's over here for all of us and you, will you continue? Will you watch the baseball postseason? What's your off season look like in the first few weeks?
I will actually maybe a week. I'll take a week off, and then I'm going to work slow pitch softball senior citizens games out of Menominee Falls.
Going to call those on.
Yes.
What is that? How does that broadcast?
It's just a wind up thing. With batteries.
It's like the webcast.
And it's a little worse than that. It's not that good.
By the way, you have an open invitation for our award-winning webcast next year.
I'll be there.
If you're around.
You know what? I'm around. You guys never invite me.
Well, there's only 2 headsets, really, so it's just
that's
it's
what
a matter
I always
of equipment.
rely on.
It's always a matter of equipment.
That's my bottom line is, boy, I'm hoping we only got 2 headsets today.
Fires strikes out Alcantara. And that's the 6th strikeout for Mike Fiers.
It really is amazing. Sometimes you watch Mike Fiers throwing 90 miles an hour, blowing these fastballs right by these guys. I mean, he struck out 14 Cubs at Wrigley Field, his second start. I mean, it's kind of wild where a guy that's throwing 90 gets all the strikeouts. Then you get a guy like Jimmy Nelson throwing 96, 97, can't get the punch outs.
It's always where you put it and how you throw it. The one thing about Mike Fiers that's so good, I mean, his delivery, Rock, and his style when he lets the ball go. I mean,
fly ball down the right field line. Braun is over, and he's got it. Braun makes the play just as he crashed up against the side wall down there in foul territory. Well done.
Not a lot of room between that foul line and that wall down there. Ryan Braun able to get there. He saw the wall. He knew it was going to get there. Little snow cone bashes up against the wall, and I'm surprised that Rick Renteria isn't going out there and ask for a review. It seems like every close play, manager going out there. What do you think baseball is going to do about the replay?
Well, they got to do something, Rock. They got to speed it up a little bit. And the one thing that I always think about is it took something away from the fans. When the manager would go out there and scream and holler and the fans got into it and the manager got ejected.
Throwing his hat.
George Bamberger, he'd throw his hat and his head came off a couple times. But,
it's uncomfortable for everybody.
But it took something away from the fans that they always screamed and hollered about. Your manager would go out there and argue for you and do whatever, and then he got kicked out of the game and then somebody else took over. But sometimes the arguments took as long as the replay did anyway. But that was one of the big things that fans love.
Yeah, I mean, don't you miss it?
I do. I really do. I just to watch it.
Baker fouls one back our way. So if we had to reenact what a conversation is like now, a manager runs out and he says, what does the manager even say now?
We can't. Nothing that we can use.
I think we should challenge it.
Nothing. That's what he says. So, could I talk to you a second? Yeah, could I talk to you a second?
By the way, how are the wife and kids?
And then your guy in the dugout is, it's okay, talk to him. Not like years ago, that umpire feared you coming out. With Earl Weaver and Billy Martin and guys like that, as soon as the umpire saw him coming out of the dugout, it was, oh, no, not again. Yeah. Not again. Yeah, it was great.
You know what they should incorporate? They should allow the manager to put the headset on, argue with the umpire, making a call in New York.
That's what I say.
That's what I'm thinking, those guys in New York. What are they looking at? What are they taking so long for, Yeah. Hang on a second, I got to go. I'll be right back. And, just keep it running. I'll be right back.
Right.
And if you got to go, depending on what you got to do, it could take much longer. That's for me.
I like the notion of, maybe the crew chief on the headset, and he'd be talking to the replay umpire in New York, and he'd say, okay, Fred or whoever it is, 1 second, please. The manager wants to speak to you, and then he hands the headset over. And then there's be a shouting match on the headset.
Dale Scott told me the other day in Chicago. I said, where have you been? He said, well, I was in New York working the headsets, I said, you kidding? He said, no. I said, do you like it? He said, well, I like it because it takes away the arguments. That's what those guys didn't like, but it took away a lot of, a lot of good stuff that the fans like to see.
They should put a TV camera in there one day. See what actually goes on.
I got an image of all those dogs around the poker table. Those old
Your boy, come on. Yeah, some guy bring their dog. Easy boy, come on.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
Obviously, it's
no,
not.
You're not. What are you backing off for?
Hey, Joe's gonna give him a call. Is what he's gonna do.
You don't like something, say it. I'll tell Joe Torre too.
It's just my imagination running wild. It's like dogs playing poker.
I know. That's how I make my money in the off season, running wild with my imagination.
Ground ball to first to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Maybe we'll talk Uecker to call in the next inning for us, so Rock and I can go have some pie.
Or something else.
Two to one Chicago as we head to the Brewer half of the fourth inning. Aramis Ramirez will lead off. Gene Segura, Martin Maldonado, Bob Uecker spending a little time with us today on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Always a thrill to have
nice to be here.
The Hall of Famer with us, and did a great job filling in for Rock. And when his finger blew up like chorizo sausage,
I know
that did a nice job.
Isn't it? Nice.
Every time he'd breathe, it'd get bigger, and then he'd let out air, and then we'd go down. Man,
that goes for a lot of things.
Well, I know that. I know that. We've both been in the locker room together.
You talked to the doctor?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I was up there walking in the hallway
In Chicago,
in
right?
Chicago when the doctor was talking to Rock about going to the hospital. And I saw the doctor in the press room a little while later, and I said, how's Rock doing? He said, he's got a serious problem, and he does need to be hospitalized. And he was right. And it was the best thing to do. And, of course, we had a good time. And
I appreciate you filling in for me.
Oh,
I
that
was
was fun. I had a
back
good
at home
time.
watching and had some laughs.
One of the topics we explored during those few days, Uke, was the fact that when you were a player and you were down in the bullpen, you would do play-by-play.
Oh, yeah.
So you would. Now, I know the kind of play-by-play you were probably doing down there. A lot of can't be said on the air, but.
Well, a lot of it was, I used to imitate Harry Carey. I used to really like Harry Carey, and I used to
Go ahead, Harry.
swing at a fly ball, hit to right. This could be caught, and is. Chris Valaika. What a play by Valaika on a ball that absolutely was really ripped. That's what he would say on the radio. You couldn't see it. guys hit a little swinging bunt. Smash up along third.
Smash. How many characters do you think you had down when you were, not when you were a professional announcer, when you were in the bullpen and you were a player? How many characters would you go through?
Oh man, we had a lot of fun in the bullpen, and Billy knows that too. And
Segura on a shot to Valaika. That was a smash to second base for the second out.
there's nothing else to do in the bullpen. There isn't. I mean, you can't even clap. Fans at least can clap. You can't even do that out there. So you just sit and watch the game or listen to the game. We always had a radio out there. But, guys play games out there.
It's a different world.
Peg. Man, yeah.
Just to kill time.
Yeah, throw a spear and the other guy catches it, and depending on which bullpen you were in. But it's bullpen catchers. That's a good life. It is. I did a lot of that. There's nothing wrong with it.
They didn't have an actual bullpen catcher, when I was playing. You were playing, certainly. I mean, we did all that.
Let me ask you a question. I was talking about this the other day. Every time I see the catchers today run out to the bullpen to warm up the guy who was catching the game never went to the bullpen anyway. But the guy who was warming up the pitcher in the bullpen never wore shin guards or a mask or anything.
Right.
And the guys today, they're probably smarter than we were for not wearing it. But everybody, the guy who's doing the starting catching goes to the bullpen and warms up the pitcher. You have to know what the pitcher throws.
Right.
I don't have to go to the bullpen and watch or catch him. I know what he throws. I know how hard he throws.
Right.
I know how good his breaking ball is. Everything.
And it's kind of the way it's done these days.
It is.
It goes down there. I mean, Lucroy just about every day is going to go down there and catch the last, maybe 10 pitches just to get a sense for what he's got that particular day. But you're right. Back in the old days, they never did that.
I know you didn't. I because I was here. And you go to the bullpen, you get hit in the chest or you get hit in the knees or something or in the shins with the ball in the dirt. But you didn't have shin guards on. We never had that stuff on.
We were smart, huh?
No, well, I matter of fact, I used to enjoy getting hit. That's when I knew it was time to quit the game. Starting to get excited every time I got drilled.
There's some bullpen activity going on. Playing
Yeah,
little
there they
hoops.
are. There it is, right there. Guy bending over and trying to imitate somebody, and then you try to guess who it is.
Passing the time. It's one of the great American pastimes.
That's why they call baseball, yeah. America's pastime. And it's past my time. I'm getting out of here.
Fly ball to center, and Maldonado's out. Uke, you're a gem, and we appreciate everything every year. Wish we could listen to you. Thanks for coming on with us.
Absolutely. I'll see you
to
guys
have you.
later
Thanks,
on.
buddy. All right.
Thank you.
Come on
Thank
back
you.
in the 7th if you want.
Thank you.
All right, Bob Uecker, Mr. Baseball. Man, it's always great to have him on the air.
the Cubs 2-1. And in our crew in the community today, Roberto Clemente dedicated his life to helping others. So in honor of the late Hall of Famer and humanitarian, Major League Baseball annually bestows the Roberto Clemente Award presented by Chevrolet to recognize the player who best represents the game of baseball through sportsmanship, community involvement, and positive contributions both on and off the field. Ryan Braun is one of the 30 club nominees eligible to win the league-wide Roberto Clemente Award presented by Chevrolet, and you can go to www.chevybaseball.com to vote for Ryan, and that award will be announced during the postseason and World Series. Ryan and Bill?
All right, thanks, Sophia. Hector Gomez will take over at third base for Aramis Ramirez. Mike Fiers back to work here in the fifth. 2-1 Cubs have the lead. Our thanks to Bob Uecker for coming over, spending a couple of innings with us. Always a thrill to have Bob. As Fiers picks up another strikeout. That is his 7th. And one away.
Always a good day when you get to chat with Ueck, whether it's before the game, after the game. And you're right. I mean, as we take a look at our AT&T fan photo of the game, hashtag #WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in a 2015 broadcast brought to you by AT&T. See what happens when I open my mouth? I got to read a promo.
Nice. Now we get to spend a lot of time with Ueck. Obviously, we don't share the same airwaves, so we don't get to listen and when we're on the air. So we asked him today if he wouldn't mind coming over, and no, fans love hearing him on television, and he has his duties on the radio, so we don't want to take him away for too long, but it's always a joy to have him on the broadcast, and we have a lot of fun with him throughout the year. We do miss him on the road when he doesn't travel. He does bring a lot of laughs, and
that's one of the the best parts of this job.
Yeah.
I mean, traveling around and before the games, after the games. I mean, in the clubhouse, the banter, and just getting along with the guys. And that's what players will tell you that they miss most after they retire, just being around the guys and having fun.
Little jam shot out to Segura for out number 2. Coughlin is retired. And I mean this in all seriousness, not joking around here. I think when the Brewers were in that slide in September, a guy like Bob Uecker, a presence like Bob Uecker, can actually, he's one of the few, maybe the only announcer who can affect how the Brewers play, just because he's still one of the guys. He still has space down in the locker room of the clubhouse. He's able to lighten the mood, and he's one of those guys that he may have had an influence. You don't know, but he does get guys laughing when sometimes you just need a laugh.
Well, not only that, I mean, he's got a great relationship with the players, coaches, certainly fans, but they respect him too. And I think that Bob's not afraid to give a guy a little bit of a jab in a fun kind of way about some stuff that might go on the field, and not afraid to do that to us too. So we respect that. Nobody knows more about this business than you.
His 60th year next year. Oh, and 2 the count on Baez. And a ground ball to Gomez just in the game. He'll make the play to end the inning. So Fiers is through 5. Brewers are coming up, down a run. Miller Park. And our Carsoup.com trivia question: name the only catcher to lead his league in extra base hits. That's a good one too. One of the greatest catchers of them all is on that list. Lucroy has a chance to do that. As of yesterday, was one behind for extra base hits. Lucroy's 0 for 2 today. Giancarlo Stanton and Andrew McCutchen are one extra base hit ahead of Jonathan Lucroy, so he could join him. McCutchen and the Pirates are underway today against Cincinnati. We're also on a no-hitter watch. Remember, the Marlins had a no-hitter last year, Henderson Alvarez. Today, the Marlins are being no-hit by Wisconsin native Jordan Zimmerman. That game is through 8.
It's 1-0. So not a lot of margin for error for Zimmerman.
Zimmerman will take a no-hitter to the 9th. And we'll keep tabs on that one. 1-0 Washington. They have not had a no-hitter in their franchise history. How about Washington with 11 hits today and just 1 run? But Jordan Zimmerman, who figures to be a big part of their postseason, has a chance to throw a no-no. And I think he has just 84 pitches.
That's the thing. I mean, you think the Nationals wouldn't want to have Zimmerman go through 9 innings today getting ready for the playoffs? I doubt it.
Logan Schaefer skies one right field line, and that is a foul ball, not by much. And Jordan Zimmerman just got the first out in the 9th inning. Jacob Turner, the former Marlin, traded to the Cubs this year. Two and 2 on Schaefer. Count remains at 2-2. Well, we've gotten to know Jordan Zimmerman over the last few years. A Wisconsin native, grew up a huge Brewers fan. He's from Auburndale. Played his college ball at Wisconsin Stevens Point, a D3 player who has made it to the big leagues. Jerry Augustine has known Jordan Zimmerman for a long time. Saw him play as an amateur player. And Schaefer takes ball 4, so there's the tying run aboard. Leadoff walk.
Yeah, Brewers on deck is set for Sunday, January 25th with games, photo ops, autograph sessions, and more. Brewers on deck features something for everybody. Plus, if you purchase tickets by November 1st, you'll get a free ticket voucher good for a select 2015 Brewers home game. Call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com/on-deck for details.
Well, with Schaefer at first, Elian Herrera will bat for the Brewers. Zimmerman now an out away from a no-hitter. Washington had 4 no-hitters in the Montreal era of that franchise, but they've not had a no-hitter since they've been in Washington, D.C. Dennis Martinez would be the last to do it. That was a perfect game in '91. Last in the franchise to do it. Rooting for Jordan Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Good for him. He's got a lot of friends and family still in Wisconsin. They have a massive tailgate when the Nationals are here at Miller Park every year. The Zimmerman family tailgate.
Always root for him except for when he's playing Milwaukee.
Right. That's it.
Guy's got some incredible stuff.
Led the league in wins last year, did Jordan. He's having another terrific year this season. ERA at 2.78. And we can report that he has done it. Jordan Zimmerman has thrown a no-hitter today. We'll try to get the pictures for you and the images and pass them along. So congratulations, Jordan Zimmerman.
Yep. Only a matter of time with the way that guy throws the baseball.
How about that? No hitter on the last day of the year. Hardly broke a sweat. A 1-0 win for Zimmerman. It's his second shutout of the year and his 14th win, so he'll go into the postseason with a top that moment. Maybe he can pull a Johnny Vandermeer and throw back-to-back no-hitters, huh? Wouldn't that be something? Last day of the regular season and your first start in the playoffs. That game ended with a Bryce Harper diving catch, which probably brought back some memories for you from '87, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the Robin Yount diving catch in center field.
2-2 to Herrera. Schaefer at first and way inside. Schaefer on his way to second on an extremely wild pitch. And the count goes to 3-2, and now a base hit will tie it up.
Well, Turner's been throwing the baseball pretty well. I mean, his earned run average over 6 coming in, but has limited the Brewers to 1 run, only 2 hits, but finding it's difficult to be throwing strikes in this inning.
Herrera in the left field, a base hit. Here comes Schaefer, and he's going to try to score. The throw home, cut off. Schaefer's in. Herrera safe. All tied at 2 as Elian Herrera with a base hit and an RBI.
Well, bottom of the order getting it done today. Well, the Brewers able to score a run with the bottom half of the batting order in the second inning, and now Schaefer and Herrera produce a run. A walk, a wild pitch, and a nice base hit by Elian Herrera on the pitch away from him on a 3-2 count. Just serves it out there in the left field. The Brewers had the right guy on the bases. Logan Schaefer scores easily.
Flying around the bag. Schaefer cuts it across third, and Cubs cut it off. Herrera with good speed ends up at second. And now a base hit. The Brewers could take the lead. Mike fires as the Cubs expect a bunt here with a runner at third and nobody out.
Yeah, got to get it down the third baseline here. Anthony Rizzo about 65 feet away from home plate.
Fires, takes the pitch, pulls it back in time.
Yeah, Valbuena has to stay close to third base. If he breaks too early, Herrera going to be able to steal it.
And there's a bunt, third base line foul. Right idea, just a touch foul. Well, over in the American League today, the Tigers are close to wrapping up a division title. They've got Joe Nathan on the mound in the 9th inning and a 3-0 lead over the Twins. Things starting to round into shape here. The Reds have a 4-1 lead over the Pirates as well. That game's in the 8th inning. So a Pirate loss will secure a division title for the Cardinals. They won't have to worry about tonight in their game with Arizona. There's a bunt, third base side. It's a good one. Valbuena's only play is first, and that's how you do it. Mike fires with a sac bunt and a runner at third with 1 out. 2-2 game. Brewers have the go-ahead run 90 feet away. All right, the images from D.C. Jordan Zimmerman. Watch this play. Zimmerman thought he gave up a hit. Look at Bryce Harper. What a catch to preserve a no-hitter. Are you kidding?
Yeah, right. Well, sometimes it takes a little bit of luck anyway. Doesn't matter how well you pitch. You got to get some help. And a great catch by Bryce Harper out there in left field.
Incredible play. I love Zimmerman's reaction.
And consider that was a 1-0 game.
Yep.
I mean, that would have put a man in scoring position and maybe would have lost the game.
Back-to-back years with no hitters on the final day of the season. Well, here's Parra with a chance to give the Brewers the lead. Washington had the best record in the regular season. The Nationals did. And for my money, the most complete team in the National League. Great starting pitching. They really don't have any holes. They have a lot of depth. They have power, speed.
They were banged up a lot in the beginning of the season.
Right back to the mound. Herrera was going on contact, and now he's in a rundown, and he is tagged out.
Well, the only thing you don't go on is a comebacker back to the mound, and Herrera a little bit over anxious to get going. And pretty clear that there's no way you're going to be able to score on that. You don't go on a comebacker. That's the only one you don't go on.
So Herrera is the second out, one unassisted on the put out. And here comes Ryan Braun with Parra at first. Oh, Ryan Braun, who walked his first time up, he flew out to right, hit the ball hard in the third inning. We were having a discussion about Ryan Braun and that injured thumb, and Ryan Braun has some news regarding that. Let's check in with Sophia. What do you have, Sophia?
Well, Brian, Ryan Braun will undergo a surgical procedure Thursday morning in Los Angeles to deal with that thumb issue that has been plaguing him for the last 2 seasons. And the procedure will actually deaden the pain receptors around that nerve. And Ryan said he's optimistic about the procedure, optimistic just that they're not removing the nerve itself. So he's hoping that will help minimize the pain for him and get him healthy for next year. He said, you know, he and the training staff here have done everything they can possibly do to try to treat that thumb, and just decided this was the best course of action for him at this point. So again, he'll undergo that procedure on Thursday, and hoping that will take care of the nerve issue.
All right, thanks for that report, Sophia. That's big news for Ryan Braun, and he's been debating surgery back and forth, the pros and the cons, for last offseason, throughout this season.
And talking to Ryan about that procedure, we talked about it with him a couple of times throughout the year this year. He said sometimes that surgery, you go through it, it doesn't work, doesn't make it any better. Sometimes it does, sometimes it makes it worse. So certainly a procedure and a risk worth taking for Ryan Braun.
Ball and a strike. Parra's at first. 1-2 the count goes. By the way, let me make a correction. That was not Bryce Harper who made that catch. That was Steve Souza who caught that ball in left field, who had entered the game for Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman had started in left, preserving the no-hitter for Jordan Zimmerman.
Okay.
Give credit where credit is due.
Nice catch regardless.
Heck yeah. September call-up. How about that moment? Brewers have tied it here in the 5th. And an RBI hit by Elian Herrera. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that was close. Parra diving back. They almost got him. Oh, we got a birthday to pass along. Mason Bell is 8 years old, enjoying today's ball game at Miller Park. So happy birthday, Mason. Be nice to your brother. There goes Parra. Braun takes it low. Throw to second is late. Another stolen base for the Brewers. So that puts the go-ahead run in scoring position. Now a base hit could give the Brewers the lead.
Boy, Baker very slow with the transition from glove to hand and on its way to second base. Second time he's had a problem with that. Well, check it out. I mean, not a very big lead. Decent jump at best. And Baker just couldn't find the handle. It took him forever to get rid of it. Doing the splits out there at second.
Doing all he can to keep that toe on the bag. Down and in, 3-2. Lucroy would follow if Braun can reach. Yeah, all that talk we had about the potential for 3 tiebreaker games tomorrow, starting to look like we won't have any. Everything's going to be set. Front runners are taking care of business today. Braun up the middle, slow roller, going to be a tough play. Baez throws, and it is in time. Braun is out.
Man, heck of a play by Baez. Terrific throwing arm to get Braun. Now here comes Ron Renicky.
Take another look. This will be the best look at it.
Can't see the ball, can you? Out of the screen. Question is, I think, does Rizzo have his foot on the bag? He certainly does. He's able to keep the toe on the bag barely. Looks like he got him.
And no challenge coming. Inning over. Brewers tie it. 2-2 game. Fifth, and our Marshfield Clinic pulse on the playoffs, and it looks like the Pirates are down 4-1 in the 9th inning. If they don't come back, and they're having to face Aroldis Chapman right now, then everything's going to be set in the National League. Even if the Giants tie the Pirates in the wild card race, that wild card game will still be in Pittsburgh because the Pirates own the head-to-head this year. So the Nationals will await the winner of the Pirates and the Giants. And then the Cardinals and the Dodgers would start the NLDS, and the Cardinals would win back-to-back division titles in this National League Central. Well, you never know. The Pirates could come back, but against Aroldis Chapman and down 3 runs, that's a tall order. Rizzo fouls it back. This guy's been a tough out for the Brewers. Been on twice today. Had a homer, a 2-run shot in the first, had a single in the third. Second in the National League in home runs. Stanton's going to win the home run title. And there's another hit. Man, you just can't get him out.
He just made an adjustment where he stands in the batter's box. I mean, when he came up, he wasn't that close to home plate, but he's right on top of the plate. He's able to handle the pitch in, and that pitch on the outside corner is basically right down the middle of most hitters. Hitting everything right now. That was a hanging curveball.
And his third hit, man on to start this 6th inning. That'll bring up Jorge Soler. Well, we never want to let good file footage go to waste, and it is our final game of the regular season. And after that no-hitter by Jordan Zimmerman, the way it ended, it brought back some memories. Soler over to Lucroy, who misplays it, and everybody's going to be safe here. Well, that had a chance to be a double play, at least 1 out at second. Instead, first and second, nobody out. Be an E3 on Lucroy.
Yeah, sometimes you try and be a little bit too quick with the throw and you forget about catching the baseball. And make sure you catch it first if you're not real familiar with the position. Lucroy, number of starts over at first base, but still relatively new to the position.
And that'll bring up Valbuena. Valbuena bunted his way on in the 4th. Had an infield hit. Now, Rocky, we were talking about that Robin Yount catch, 1987, that preserved the only no-hitter in Brewers franchise history. Normally, no-hitters, you're going to need a moment or two where there's a great play or something special happens. But rarely does it come down to the last play, the last batted ball of the game, and a diving catch on a ball that, you know, looks like a hit when it leaves the bat and ends up as an out. Those are rare occurrences, but check it out. This is 87 on the left, and that's Souza, Steve Souza, who always dreamed of being in a highlight with Robin Yount. And there it is. Good work.
What a catch by Yount. You know, when that ball was first hit off the bat of Eddie Murray, it was right at Yount, but it just kept slicing further and further away from him. Seemed like Yount just kept going and the ball further and further away from him, able to make the catch.
This will be the first out as Valbuena hauls it in. I don't know if they looked at that play or challenged. I didn't see how that game ended. I mean, it looked like he caught it, but it looked like there was some question there where the Souza may have dropped the ball as he rolled over and was trying to protect it. That was quite a catch. Which one do you like better, Rock?
Oh, the Yount catch for sure. Because had he not made that catch, we wouldn't be talking about that no-hitter, and I would have nothing to call my own in Brewers history.
Next year, I'm telling you, next year, the Brewers are going to throw a no-hitter. I got a hunch.
Yeah. They certainly have the guys that might be able to do it.
Runners take off. Maldonado has no throw, a slow curveball. So a sneak attack there as Rizzo steals third. Soler right behind him.
Not often Rizzo's going to steal a base relatively easy like that. I mean, uncontested, basically. Maldonado didn't even bother throwing. It's a big bag now. They can't get out of the inning with a double play ball.
Infield in for the Brewers. And a shot fair. That is inside the line. Alcantara with extra bases. 2 runs are going to score, and the Cubs have a 4-2 lead.
Well, first time in 10 starts that Mike Fiers has allowed 4 runs in a start. And Alcantara able to stay back long enough on a changeup right off the end of the bat, able to keep it fair. And because of the stolen bases, 2 runs in and not 1. And the Brewers find themselves down by a pair.
A costly error by Lucroy, opening up the door. Well, that double steal proved big too. Never know how Fiers pitches Alcantara, but having runners at first and second certainly allows you to do more things defensively. Chris Valleca with 1 away. Got a runner at second now. Four runs, 3 earned against Fiers. Working here in the 6th. Well, the Packers held off the Chicago Bears today. Aaron Rodgers asked us all to relax, and the Packers come out and have a good day in Chicago.
So. Whipped them pretty good.
Yeah. Nice win for the Packers. We welcome all of you who have tuned our way. Too bad you missed Bob Uecker. He joined us for a couple of innings. Cubs just took the lead. The Brewers just tied it in the bottom of the 5th. Cubs answered with 2 here in the 6th inning and still at bat. Final game of the regular season today. We'll wrap it up from Miller Park. Alcantara with a 2 RBI double. He's at second. Two and 2 on Valleca. If you haven't been dialed into some of the news around baseball, the Wisconsin native Jordan Zimmerman threw a no-hitter today for the Washington Nationals, a 1-0 win. Cincinnati closed out Pittsburgh 4-1 the final there. Cueto got his 20th win of the season. Aroldis Chapman his 36th save, and the Pirates will enter the postseason as the wild card 1. So they'll host the wild card game against the Giants. That means the Cardinals, without having to play today, have won the division. St. Louis will play Arizona. I'll be curious to see if they change their pitchers.
Maybe, yeah.
Wainwright scheduled to work.
Maybe just have Wainwright throw a couple innings.
Certainly changes the game plan. Yeah,
work it as a side session and be ready to start game 1.
Yeah, they won't start in the National League till Friday, so unlikely they would pull him, but he would.
Right. He'd still be able to, even if he started on his regular turn, he's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like about the new playoff system. It protects division winners, lets you set your rotation. That's the whole point. The wild card team's got to go in. They got to scramble to get their pieces together. Who's going to pitch in the wild card game? Who goes? You just got to get there first. You can't think ahead like that. So usually you're going to burn your ace. And for the Pirates, I believe it's going to be Garrett Cole. Would imagine Bumgarner will go for San Francisco. Ground ball to short. Segura going to go across to first base. Valleca is out. Second out of the inning. Well, as promised earlier in the broadcast, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Don't forget to use the hashtag WisFanPhoto. Oh, and how about this? This was from Barb Wentworth. And she did the apple pie
It's got all their names on it. The Fox Sports Wisconsin logo. You can't see it all that well, but it certainly did taste very good.
Crushed it. That is top 5 fan photo of the year. Slow roller, fires, picks it up fair, and gets the out on Baker.
Point is, you bring a spoon in the booth, you get on TV.
Yes, that is the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to the Wentworths. A 2 RBI double by Alcantara. How about the little weenies out today? Scooter Gennett sends the little chorizo off early. That's all right. He's just following orders. Listen to grown-ups. A runaway winner. Famous Clement's Racing Sausages.
Good day to throw some sausages on the grill after the ball game. That's
Absolutely.
my plan tonight.
Last time we'll see him run till spring training.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. Carsoup.com trivia, the only catcher to lead his league in extra base hits. And Johnny Bench, he did it twice, 1970, 1974. Great catcher of the Big Red Machine, the Cincinnati Reds. Lucroy's got a chance to do that. He is one extra base hit off the National League lead. Just checking on McCutchen today. He did have a hit, but did not have an extra base hit. And that Pirates lost to the Reds.
Yeah, big difference between positions, right? I mean, what it takes out of you, center field, and playing behind home plate, catching. You don't nearly get as many games normally when you're a catcher. Just an incredible year for Jonathan Lucroy.
Well, he's 0 for 2 today. And at this point is going to need hits in his final 2 at-bats to hit 300 this year. Jacob Turner's best game of the year came as a Marlin against Milwaukee. Went 6+ shutout in that game. Things have not gone well for him with the Chicago Cubs. Was traded in August. Against the Brewers back on May 24th. He went 6 1/3, did not allow a run. Did give up 8 hits. Won the game 2-1. And he is in the 6th here, giving up just 2 runs at this point.
Well, Turner's had pretty good command of all of his pitches. He's thrown some good curveballs. He's been able to get in on the hands of the Brewers. He's got that two-seam fastball that he's located pretty well.
Lucroy into left center, and a base hit for him. Well, here he comes, Jonathan Lucroy with a single.
Well, that brings us to today's time of the game winner. It's Goodfellas Tavern in Argyle. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to an April or May Brewers home game next year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Argyle, Wisconsin, southwest part of the state.
We welcome all of them watching the broadcast today. Pitching change here. Renteria is going to make the call to the bullpen. Turner's out. Take a break. A groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. And we want to support our friends with Gold in September and raising awareness for pediatric cancer in the month of September. Don't forget to wear your gold the last couple of days of the month. And our good friends over at iBack Jack. So the numbers on Justin Grimm as he'll face Hector Gomez with a runner at first.
Yep, second appearance for Grimm in the series and leads the team with those 72 appearances.
First at bat for Hector came in for Ramirez. Carlos Gomez not in the lineup today.
Carlos Gomez and Ricky Weeks, surprised that he's not in the starting lineup. Could be his last game here at Miller Park as a Brewer. His contract is up at the end of the season.
Ramirez started the game at third, got 2 at bats. Hector in to finish it up. Two balls and a strike. In there. 2-2 the count. Gomez hit 15 homers at AAA this year. Playing shortstop every day.
Got a nice quick bat. Very quick on the inside corner. Got to wait back a little bit more on that breaking pitch. He was out on his front foot on that last one from Grimm. Brewers like him. He's very athletic. Good infielder with a terrific throwing arm.
Well, Hector's going to have a chance. He's made enough of an impression this year to have a chance to make the ball club next spring. Tall, rangy shortstop. He's 6'3". But has great skills. Always questions about his bat, whether he'd hit enough to play every day in the big leagues. And those questions still exist, but after seeing what he did this year in AAA, I think the Brewers are excited to see what he can do and maybe give him a shot. He can play all over. He can play second or third. Shortstop is his natural position. A good block back there, and able to check his swing. That'll send the count full for Gomez. Getting started with a Lucroy single and a pitching change. Lucroy still chasing a 300 batting average. The scoreboard shows 300, but I believe Lucroy has to have another hit. They do not round up.
Yeah, well, they can round up right now, but he's at like 299. Something like that.
For the official statistics, they do not round up.
Right.
Gomez pops this one up in the infield. Rizzo in foul territory. And a long battle for Gomez, but it ends in an out. First out of the inning.
You can basically round up any other time other than you're at right at that 300 mark. So if you're at 256.6, they'll give you 257.
Right. Just when it covers the 299 versus 300
or 399 400.
Lucroy's hitting 299.6, 5.7, 5.3 if you want to go that deep. Ground ball toward the middle. Baez taps the bag with his toe and throws to first. What a double play. Well, Baez nifty out there at short. Inning is over.
The Brewers down by a couple at Miller Park. Final game of the season, and the most popular way to follow the Brewers in the September pennant races is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replays, score updates, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download At Bat free for your smartphone or tablet in the App Store.
Everything starting to become settled in Major League Baseball here today on this final day of the regular season. Zach Duke is on the pitch. So Mike Fiers' last start. He ends up going 6 innings, 4 runs, 3 earned. And right now on the hook for the loss. See if the Brewers offense can pick him up.
And another good start for Mike Fiers, and another guy the Brewers I would imagine are going to be very interested in bringing back. Zach Duke. Terrific season for Zach. A 5-1 record, a .250 earned run average, in a career high 74 appearances now. And look at the strikeouts to walk ratio. 17 walks, 72 punch outs, and just shy of 58 innings of work. Tremendous season for Zach Duke.
Junior Lake will pinch hit for the Cubs.
I think the issue for the Brewers is going to be that a lot of teams are going to be looking to get Zach Duke.
Yeah, he has put himself in a very good spot. Left-hander who is not just a situational left-hander. That's an ideal role for him, but he's proven he can get right-handers out. And a ground ball. He stabs it. Nice play. Picks it up on a hop and throws Lake out for the first out of the inning.
And he can field his position. Well done. The only non-roster invite in spring training to make the ball club as a pitcher.
Got Overbay and Mark Reynolds, who made the club as position players, as non-roster invitees. Coughlin takes a strike. Another one in there. Big spinner from Zach Duke. Cubs took the lead with 2 in the 6th inning on a Alcantara 2 RBI double. Cubs don't have far to go to get back home. Short trip down I-94. If you're going to finish on the road, that's a good way to finish.
Did you try getting into the parking lot today, the Brewers players lot? Most of the Cubs, I think, are parked there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we got to do something about that.
Have to remember that for next year.
I mean, you have to give up a kidney to park anywhere close to Wrigley Field for you and I.
We'll just pull it into the players lot next year.
Man.
We'll block some people in.
A lot of Illinois plates in that Brewers parking lot, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we gotta tighten up security out there. There's a swing and a miss.
Maybe key some of them.
So 2 outs. Duke retires Coughlin. And here comes Javier Baez. We got the final game in the splendid career of Paul Konerko, finishing up in Chicago. Actually, I think they took him out in the middle of the game there. They unveiled a statue for Konerko yesterday. Been a lot of talk about Derek Jeter in his last game, and rightly so. Jeter has his place among the greats. But Paul Konerko has had an extraordinary career as well. Class act, Paul Konerko. We wish him the best.
Yep. Always a guy that has flown under the radar screen. Doesn't get a whole lot of headlines, but boy, terrific career, and just like Derek Jeter, really never got in any trouble. Keep your nose clean, get the job done, be a role model, and put up a good career.
And a fine guitar player, Paul Konerko. He said his next goal post-playing career is to get good enough at guitar where he could play rhythm guitar in a real band. That's what he wants to do.
Got enough money, just get your own band,
make
right?
your own band, buy your own bar.
You don't have to be any good.
Come up with your own label. A swing and a miss, and Duke a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts. Stretch time at Miller Park, and one final presentation of God Bless America, and we turn it over to Rob Edwards. Enjoy.
Milwaukee Brewers and the Wisconsin Army National.
Cubs lead 4-2. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And our Powerball home run leaderboard for the team. Brewers right now at 150. Good part of the year they were second in the league to the Rockies. They have tailed off down the stretch, and it's a team built on the home run ball, and that has been a big factor in this slide in the final 6 weeks of the year. 150 home runs. They'd love a couple more here. Brewers are down 4-2. Gomez, the club leader in homers with 23, not in the lineup today. Davis, Reynolds have 22 apiece. Ryan Braun with 19. Neil Ramirez is on the pitch here in the 7th for the Cubs.
Yeah, second appearance in this series for Ramirez. He threw a 3-up, 3-down inning, including a strikeout on Friday night in the Cubs' victory. 50 appearance for Ramirez, and very good numbers. 148 earned run average, allowing only 2 home runs.
And Maldonado to left. On the first pitch, line drive out for the first out of the inning. Logan Schaefer at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Infield hit and a walk today, scored a run. At the time, it was the tying run driven in by Herrera. Then the Cubs got 2 in the 6th, the very next inning. Schaefer's been up and down between the big leagues. AAA this year, ended up as a September call-up, but he went down to AAA and swung the bat well at AAA. Very good defensive player. His at-bats have been sporadic, and he has not swung the bat well as a bench player. That's a tough job for a hitter coming up through the minor leagues, and when you don't have a lot of experience at the major league level.
It's usually the veteran guys that do well with sporadic playing time, getting base hits, like Overbay coming off the bench this year.
Schaefer draws the walk, so there he is again, another walk, his second, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Here comes Elian Herrera. Well, one of the prime off-season activities you can be a part of is Brewers Fantasy Camp, and we hope you will join us there January 18th through the 25th. Phoenix, Arizona. You get the round-trip airfare, you get all the accommodations, you get treated like a big leaguer. For more information, visit brewers.com/fantasycamp. 414-321-8605 is the number. It's filling up fast, so get your entries in.
Yeah, it is.
Promise you'll have a great time.
Got about 15 spots left. Season's not even over, not even the end of September. It's one of the better years we've had in early sign-ups. You know, we got the Rob Deere Adult Baseball Camp 2 coming up in mid-October. Call the same number, reserve your spot for that as well.
Strike to Herrera. Elian with an RBI his last time up. Got the start at second base today. I hope Scooter Gennett will get to the offseason, get some rest, get that quad injury healed. Playing hurt good part of the year. Got to appreciate the effort for Gennett, and he'll have a chance to be the everyday second baseman next season.
A good season for Scooter, and I think one of the reasons why his numbers were so good. I mean, Ron Renneke had the luxury of having Ricky Weeks up there against lefties. Ease him into his big league career, not having to deal with those left-handers, but next year might be different for him. That platoon worked out well. Ricky was fairly productive in that role. Whereas Ricky didn't like it too much. Didn't say much about it, but you know, he wants to play every day. So does Scooter.
I'll be curious to see where Ricky Weeks' career goes after this. Still feels he is an everyday player in the major leagues. That ball skips away from Rizzo. One of the challenges the Brewers had this year is the fact that you had a platoon at both positions at first and second, essentially, in the beginning of the year anyway. Overbay and Reynolds, a left-right platoon at first. Weeks and Jeanette, a left-right platoon at second base. And those players, other than Mark Reynolds, don't play any other positions. So a little bit landlocked in that regard. And the Brewers will probably address those needs this offseason. You'd like to have somebody a little more versatile on your bench, especially when you're in the National League, and you need position players who come off the bench that can play a number of different positions. Finding someone who can play shortstop is always a trick. That's why a guy like Hector Gomez comes to light. Elian Herrera was brought up for good in the middle of the season for that reason. Schaefer takes off. Herrera strikes out, and Logan steals second base.
And Baker just can't throw the baseball. He can't even get it out of his glove. Not to say he would have been able to throw out Schaefer, but he has not been able to even make a throw.
Well, it's the second out of the inning. And Ramirez will face Lyle Overbay. For now, Overbay still hanging on to his franchise record. He's tied with Lucroy for franchise doubles.
Hey, you wonder what's going through Lyle Overbay's mind, you know, as you enter today, last day of the season. Will this be it for him? It's going to be back in the big leagues next year. Who knows? It'll be an emotional day for a guy like Lyle.
I think he'd have a job if he decides to retire. It would not be because teams wouldn't be interested, especially the way he proved he could hit off the bench this year. Overbay 11 for 33 as a pinch hitter this season with a home run and 8 runs batted in. That is a productive pinch hitter and a left-handed bat who's been around, and he'll have plenty of opportunities, I would imagine.
He came up with some big hits for the Brewers when they needed them. None bigger than that bases clearing double that he hit in Dodger Stadium.
That was part of a 3-game sweep when the Brewers were flying high in L.A. I think my lasting memory of Lyle Overbay, not all the great work he did on the field or at the plate, but the fact that he dressed up like Vanilla Ice on the themed road trip, the Wranglers and Rappers road trip.
Even cut his hair.
Yeah, he shaved lines in the side of his head.
Right. That's a commitment. Lyle Overbay, the guy that was at first base right before Prince Fielder took over. Back in the old days of the Buckethead Brigade down in left field. They loved him out there.
Two on Overbay. 2 outs in the inning. Cubs have a 4-2 lead. Overbay trying to drive one in here. Hard throwing Neil Ramirez. And he tried to get him to chase that high fastball. Did not. Pops him up. Baez is over. Coughlin's coming in. He'll make the call. And that will retire the side. And the Brewers strand the runner at second base. To the 8th we go. Cubs are up a pair. In the 8th. The last day of the regular season today. Don't forget our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Some of the schedule highlights for next year. Opening day will be right here at Miller Park against the Rockies. That's April 6th. First road trip is April 13th through the 19th. Go to St. Louis and Pittsburgh. And the Brewers are going to match up against the AL Central in interleague play. So got matchups against the White Sox and the Tigers, the Indians, Twins, of course. 2 series apiece with Minnesota, Kansas City, and Cleveland. So you have to deal with a couple of playoff teams there, and the Royals and the Tigers next year. The former Royal, Will Smith, his first year as a Brewer, coming to an end here today. And his 78th appearance of the season.
Yeah, what a first half he had, and nobody better than Will Smith. I think the appearances caught up to him. Never had anywhere close to this many games under his belt. 78th appearance, a 1-3 record, and a 3.76 earned run average. His ERA was about in the low ones until the second half of the season.
This appearance will give Will Smith the National League lead in games pitched. He ties in games pitched with Tony Watson, who pitched today for the Pirates and took the loss in that game as the Reds beat the Pirates. Johnny Cueto winning his 20th. So Smith's going to finish the year leading the league in games pitched, and that's a good nugget for his first full season in the big leagues. I remember talking to Will before the year started, and I said, what are your hopes for this year? You want to start, or do you feel better in the bullpen? He goes, I just want to be in the big leagues. I could care less. Could not care less.
That's a big adjustment from going to, from being a starter to racking up as many appearances as Smith has had this year. It's not something that just happens overnight. I mean, it's a toll on the arm. It's a process, learning how to get ready, keep yourself sharp. I would imagine next year will be even better for him.
Yep. Yeah, he looked like a real force in the first half, and a nice pickup for the Brewers. Royals are happy they got Nori Aoki. Organization's filling needs with that trade as Rizzo draws the walk. And he is on base for the 4th time today, Anthony Rizzo. Jorge Soler here in the 8th. High fly ball to center. Schaefer's out there, and Soler is retired.
Well, he just missed that one. A little dejected body language for Soler. He knew he had a pretty good pitch to hit and just popped it up. Sounded good off the bat, but just got under it.
That'll bring up Luis Valbuena. Had 3 20-game winners in the National League this year. Kershaw, Wainwright, and Cueto. By the way, that we were wondering if Wainwright was going to pitch. He did not. He was warming up in the bullpen, ready to pitch against the Diamondbacks. And Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh at that moment as he was getting his pregame warm-ups in, and they pulled him. Nick Greenwood started that game instead. Lucroy, nice play out at second, throw to first. He is late. Jonathan Lucroy showing a little range to get the second out.
Well, taking his time, making sure he had the ball in his glove. And back in the 6th inning, tried to rush a little bit. Well, squeeze it, make sure 1. It's a tough double play, that 3 to 6 to 1 double play, but got the lead runner.
Yeah, so they pulled Wainwright. So that's going to set up as a Wainwright-Kershaw matchup, Dodgers-Cardinals, for the first game of the NLDS series between those two, best of 5. Kershaw will finish as the league leader in wins with 21. And he'll lead the league in ERA and strikeouts. And he's going to win the Cy Young Award, and he might win the MVP award this year in the National League.
What else? What else is there to win?
Something.
You name it, right?
If he doesn't win the MVP, then a pitcher cannot ever win an MVP again, in my opinion. So that was one of the great years ever.
I guess I'm okay with a pitcher winning that award if it's pretty much hands down. If there's nobody really close. You know, a position player, a guy that's out there every day. Had the Marlins been able to compete and maybe get to the postseason, Stanton might have been the guy had he been able to finish the season. Interesting that the batting average leader in the National League coming into today, Justin Morneau at 319. There's 4 guys in the top 10 under 300. That doesn't happen very often. John Lucroy's on that list. He's 6th.
He's got a chance. He's going to have another plate appearance here next inning. Lucroy needs a hit to hit 300 this year. There's a swing and a miss. Alcantara is out. Will Smith strikes him out, and his last appearance as a Brewer is a scoreless inning. It's a good year, Will.
To have the kids with us here every Sunday. They're going to run the bases afterwards, and that's kind of our highlight during our Brewers Live postgame on Sundays here at Miller Park, is watching thousands of kids come across here and end up on the base paths. But Brewers coming up short right now, trying to win the finale here. Fires was out on the hill, and Lucroy is coming up trying for a hit to get to 300. Just a couple of the storylines that we're starting with tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I got my fingers crossed, Luke. I want you to not only, get a base hit, but try to get a double. And that way, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
And it's a big thing for him to come up. He's got the big base hit after going 0 for 2. Gets a base hit this time. He's got that 300. That's pretty special.
All right, we'll have full coverage coming up from that Brewer clubhouse. A lot of moving boxes ready to head out after today. Hard to believe the season's over. Our final Brewers Live postgame coming up shortly, Brian.
All right, Craig and Davey and Augie. Good work by those guys all year, and enjoy being around them. All 3 of them. Great to spend a day at the ballpark with those guys. They love the game and are great colleagues here at Fox Sports Wisconsin. Parra leads off. Pedro Strop is in, the setup man for the Cubs.
Yeah, 65th appearance for Strop. We saw him on Friday as well. Guy's hard thrower. And you figure it's going to be Strop. And if the Cubs still have the lead, it's going to be Hector Rondon. Man, they talked about that Lucroy double. How about a couple of men on? He hits that double, ties it up.
All right. Going into your crystal ball once again.
No, it's just hoping. You always want to go out on a winning note. Doesn't matter what the record is or what it means. You want to go out there and try and win every game. That ride home just a little bit nicer, isn't it, when you leave the ballpark and the Brewers have won?
Yep.
Then you check out some of those post-game radio shows after they win. Those are always a little bit more pleasant to listen to.
3-2 to Parra.
And if they don't, it's listen to a little country on the way home.
It's all about options. Great passionate fans in Milwaukee. There's a ground ball to Rizzo. And the first out of the inning. Now Ryan Braun will step up. Could be his final at bat of the season. Still sitting on 19 home runs. He's going to finish as the Brewers RBI leader this year. 81 RBIs.
Yeah, rough season for Ryan for sure.
Well, if he was just an average player, it would be a great season, but he's not. He has set a high bar of expectations, and 19 homers and 81 RBIs. That's a down year for Ryan Braun.
And you hope that surgery is going to be successful and he's going to be able to come into spring training at full strength. No problem with that thumb.
Brewers down 2 here in the 8th. Needing a base runner. Lucroy would be next.
Just not able to get the pitches that he normally would be able to get to. Just found him off a little bit behind. He's stepped away from the plate a little bit further away to try and give himself time to catch up to that inside corner, and that's all because of that thumb problem.
And he pops this one up. Out number 2 for Stroke. Well, here comes Lucroy. He's got a chance to do a couple of things here with an extra base hit. If he hits a double, he'll accomplish 3 things. He will tie the league lead for extra base hits. First time a catcher has done that since Johnny Bench did in the National League back in the 70s. He will also set a new franchise record for doubles in a season. Right now he's tied for that mark with Lyle Overbay, and he will hit 300. So a double right here would go a long way.
And so this is an important at bat for Lucroy, not just personally, but he'd like to be able to get that tying run at home plate.
2 outs in the inning. And Lucroy, base hit right center. Jonathan Lucroy will finish the year batting 300.
Good for him.
What a year.
Yeah.
Man, and only the way that Lucroy would want to do it. Hitless in his first 2 at-bats. He comes up with 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats to hit 300. That is our Marshfield Clinic shining moment.
Never seems to disappoint you, does he?
Beautiful.
0 for 2. Looked like he wasn't going to be able to do it, and back-to-back hits in a 300 season for Lucroy. Good for him.
All-star starter this year. First time All-Star in the National League. And he has put his name in that category as not only one of the premier catchers in the league, both defensively and offensively, but also an MVP type candidate. He was in that race for a good part of the year until he tailed off in the month of September. But he's got a chance because of the position he plays, the impact he has on the team. If you're into the metrics and the WAR stat, the wins above replacement, Lucroy stands up tall among some of the greats in the game right now in that category. Gomez, little chopper to third base. Balbuena, a low throw, but dug out by Rizzo to end the inning. And the Cubs still lead it, but Jonathan Lucroy is a 300 hitter in the big leagues this year. Comes up with his second hit of the day. Hits 300 for the season, and a well-deserved offseason coming up for Lucroy. We'll start right now.
Now, certainly the Brewers MVP this year. If he didn't have enough to get it for the National League, but certainly the most consistent Brewer all season long.
Matt Clark will take over at first base.
Well, Jeremy Jefferson on for the 29th time. Now, here's a guy that the Brewers can count on, I would imagine, going into next year. What a season he's had since he was called up. 29th appearance and a 163 earned run average. This guy has been very impressive in his appearances so far this year. And he changed his arm angle. He's got some movement on that big fastball. And I guess just as important is he's been able to throw curveballs for strikes.
Chris Valleca will lead off. Ninth inning here in Milwaukee. The Brewers down 2. I'm not sure what the conversation is here. The home plate umpire, Jeff Nelson, talking with Rick Kranitz and Ron Renicky.
Something about his sleeve. I think I saw him talking about the sleeve. Is there some weight hanging out?
Nelson says he's all right, and that's not a shirt under the jersey. It's just 2 sleeves that he wears. So whatever it was, Nelson's satisfied and will play on here.
I think there was some white lettering on it that was exposed. Not supposed to do that, but that's kind of nitpicking at this point, isn't it?
I think it is. There's a little soft liner that'll fall. Base hit for Valleca. You're talking about the batting average title in both leagues, and Jose Altuve has won the batting average title in the American League. It's interesting because Altuve was given the option to sit out today to secure that title, and he chose to play, and Altuve did win the batting average title. Matter of fact, had the most hits since Paul Molitor in 1996.
Amazing, isn't it? The Houston Astros.
225 hits this year for Jose Altuve. Now in the National League, Justin Morneau was the batting average leader to start play today, ahead of Josh Harrison and Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen and Harrison both played. Obviously a division title up for grabs today. Morneau is not playing for the Rockies today, so he will win the batting average title today, but did not start for Colorado.
Yeah, 1 point separated Harrison and Morneau, so a little bit of a risk. I guess if Harrison had gotten a couple of hits, might have got in the lineup. And Harrison ended up, what, 315?
Yep, 315. He got a hit today. Morneau hit 319. I beg your pardon. Harrison had just one hit today and finished at 315. John Baker with a runner at first. Jeffers trying to keep the Cubs at 4. Maybe the Brewers have a little magic in them in the bottom of the ninth today. Finish the season on a positive note. Lucroy is going to finish the year in the top 10 in the league in hitting.
Yeah, hits. Has 176 hits. Multi-hit games. Doubles. He leads the league in doubles. Not a bad season. Extra base hits. Jonathan Lucroy with 53 multi-hit games. Bernard Span led the league, the Washington Nationals, 58, unless he had a couple of hits today.
Lucroy is going to come up one extra base hit short of leading the league. He'll finish third in that category. Willie Peralta with his 17 wins will finish 5th in the National League. Francisco Rodriguez is currently 3rd in the National League in saves. Could get to 2nd with a save tonight. Craig Kimbrell is the league leader with Rosenthal right behind him. Kimbrell again with 46 saves.
What does it say about the state of the game when you have no hitters in the National League that have walked 100 times this year?
Right. Yeah, it says a lot. Pitchers have great command these days, Rock.
Yeah, that's what it is. Matt Carpenter. Of course, if Stan didn't get hurt, he would have had 100. He had 94, ended up with 94. Matt Carpenter with 95.
Stan had a chance to lead the league in homers and RBIs. He's going to lead the league in home runs. Adrian Gonzalez will be the RBI champ this year of the Dodgers.
Lucroy was also 8th in on-base percentage.
So he can stay. Full count to Baker. Runner goes, and the pitch is down and in. Ball 4. 2 on. Nobody out. Meeting at the mound here. Martin Maldonado cheering on Jefferson his own way. Pinch hitters coming on for the Cubs. Logan Watkins will bat. There's still one playoff spot up for grabs in the big leagues going on right now. The Oakland A's are a game up on the Mariners for that last wild card spot, the second wild card spot. If Oakland wins, they're in. If they lose, the Mariners have to beat the Angels to force a tiebreaker tomorrow. Oakland leads Texas 2-0 in the 8th inning. There's a bunt. It's a good one. Jeffress makes the play to first for the first out. Sacrifice for Watkins, second and third. Top of the order, here's Chris Coughlin. Brewers have the infield in. And a ground ball. Herrera coming to the plate, and it's a bad throw. And safe is the call. Jeff Nelson made the call. I thought he might have missed the plate. He did not. That was a heck of a catch by Maldonado on a terrible throw. Yeah. Valleca came in.
Yeah, good throw, and he's going to be out easily at home plate. Yeah, back a little bit with the left-hander up, and any kind of throw by Ilian Herrera, and that's going to be an easy out at home plate. But pretty good effort. You can see Valleca as he goes by. Good slide, able to grab the plate with his hand. Well, that's a tremendous play by Martin Maldonado, just in no position to make a tag. And you see Valleca reaching for the corner of the plate.
Yeah, this will be a great look at it here. Touch the plate. Good call. Yeah. Jeff Nelson was right on it. That is a heck of a slide by Valleca.
Pretty good play by Martin Maldonado, too.
Just needed a better throw from Herrera. So it's 5-2 Cubs. Still one out. First and third for Baez. Could be a fielder's choice and an RBI for Coughlin. Well, who do you like in the postseason, partner?
I'll tell you, Nationals are on a roll. Ever since they got healthy in the second half, they have been far and away the best team in baseball. Of course, the way the Pirates have been rolling along, you know, I mean, the Pirates, they got a tough road ahead in the wild card game. Pirates, Giants, the fact that they're going to be at home, big deal for them. Nationals and Angels maybe in the World Series.
That's your call?
What do you got?
I'm going with a Beltway World Series. Orioles, Nationals. Or it could be a Freeway World Series. LA Freeway.
Right.
Angels, Dodgers. I think the Nationals are the best team in the National League. Most complete team. They're playing well. They've got great pitching. Got a no-hitter today from Jordan Zimmerman. Baez is out on strikes, the second out. Tigers are going to match up against the Orioles in the first round. That's the series I'll have. And still, you got to think about Detroit. Even though they've got a lot of holes, they've got the three aces in there. And if the Orioles get past them, then look out.
Yeah.
We'll see. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, good luck with that, by the way.
Appreciate that.
Looking forward to it. You got a busy winter coming up.
A little basketball, a little golf, a little football. Just enough. I love it. I'm looking forward to the Wisconsin Badgers basketball opener this year. I'm going to do that.
You're going to do
this
that
season?
One?
Yeah.
Who they play? Bad question.
Northern Kentucky.
Okay.
I believe.
You and Matt LePay.
We'll be there in the same building. Our thanks to Matt, too, this year, filling in on the play-by-play this season. He did a great job. First year ever calling baseball. You'd never know. He did a fantastic job.
Yes, he did. And he does appreciate his first game ever in Pittsburgh, where he was sitting about 1,000 feet up.
That was on purpose. Rizzo fouls one away. Yeah, correct. Sean and Matt LePay. Thanks to them for filling in and all the great work by our crew this year. That's the part we miss the most, being around our fantastic crew.
Yeah.
Led in the truck by Brad Weimer and Mark Vittorio, Vito. Brent Reeland, our other producer. Michael Vetter. There's two guys in their first year in the big leagues. Dwayne and Ricky. That is a swing and a miss, and a run is going to come in to score.
Nope.
Or is it? So it's an out. I'm not sure, because the call of Jeff Nelson, I don't think he called it it's not a foul ball, it's a strikeout. He just didn't want to run to first. That's the inning. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Choosing not to run to first base on that pitch that got back to the screen. So because of that, secures the out, and the run does not score. So it's 5-2. The Brewers are down 3. If Rizzo goes to first, he's going to make it, and a run would come in. The inning would continue.
They just don't understand why he would not run. Well, the Brewers will take it. I remember on Friday night, ground ball to third. He didn't cover first base. Heard a balk called, but play wasn't dead, and ended up giving a Brewer a base hit. So Rizzo's having a fine year, but a couple of mental lapses in this series.
So a couple of strikeouts for Jeffers. He does give up a run, though. And it'll be Hector Rondon to try to finish it off for the Cubs. The Cubs closers had a nice year. 28 saves.
He's going to have the bottom of the Brewers order to deal with. Hard thrower Hector Rondon, 28 out of 32 and a 245 earned run average.
Don't forget, Brewers Live following the game. We'll get all the in-season reaction from the clubhouse. Sophia will be down there, and hear from Ron Renicky, and Rock and I will have some closing thoughts as well. It's always kind of sad when you come to the end of a season. Won't have big league baseball again until April 6th here at Miller Park. Of course, we'll be there for you for spring training next year. And we'll have a full slate of games, I'm sure, whether it be on Fox Sports Wisconsin or the webcast, or, of course, Brewers Radio. Send our best over to the Brewers radio crew, Bob Uecker and Joe Block, Kent Sommerfeld, the producer and engineer, and the guys that filled in this year for you. There's Kent. And not on the phone. That's like the spotted owl right there. That's a rare shot.
Haley's comment, right? I'll tell you, Kent's been around a long time.
Yes, he has.
I mean, he's working on 30 years in this business.
Yep.
Still looks like he did when he dropped out of college for the third time.
He is a great man, that
yes,
guy.
He is. Funny.
Takes a lot of abuse, but he is one of our favorites. Valeka makes a nice pickup, and Segura is retired. So Uecker will be coming back for his 60th year next season. And it's been a lot of fun here. We got the best crew in baseball. Everybody says that. We mean it, though. We have a lot of guys who do great work. There's Woody, the gambler. And that's his shot from first base. Always probing in that first base dugout. Leslie. There's the other Rizzo. It's our favorite Rizzo. He's got the sit down job. It's beautiful. Can rock back and forth. That's Rizzo's shot right there. He's the guy that can't mess up ever when the ball's put in play. Scooter Gennett is announced here. It's a nice hand and takes a strike. Ryan's out there. Great job by our camera guys bringing the and girls. Great sights and sounds at Miller Park. Got one of the best audio guys in the business in Eric West and his team of technicians. We are lucky. We always say talent's in the truck, and we mean it.
It is. Make it easy. Make it fun to come home. Miss them. I'll have to check them out at a Bucks game.
Yep. Mostly the same crew over there at the Bradley Center. We'll see if Gennett can finish his season with a base hit. 289 average. 9 homers, 54 RBIs for Gennett.
Well, that one had some hair on it right there. 98 miles an hour up in the zone. Good take by Gennett. I think Scooter's going to have some work added to his plate next year.
And Gennett strikes out. So it comes down to one last out here for 2014. And it'll be Logan Schaefer to try to keep the inning alive. Schaefer takes a strike. You know, we don't want to let the season get away in our final broadcast here without mentioning Bruce Side once again. And the very popular amateur scouting director, he passed away last month at the age of 53. And we want his wife Erica to know that we're thinking about him and her and the family of Bruce Side. And,
yeah.
She's on our mind as well. It was a career that began in '92. He started with the Brewers in '98 eventually as a cross-checker and then the director of amateur scouting in '08. And it's been a really tough year, not just on the field with the way the Brewers have played down the stretch, but losing a member of the Brewers family. He was one of our favorite booth guests, universally respected as well, Bruce Side, and this season dedicated to him. There's a ground ball, and folks, that's it. The season is over. The Cubs beat the Brewers A 5-2 final, and we wrap it up. 162 in the books. The Brewers go 82 and 80. And it has been an honor to be in your living rooms all season long, and we thank you for allowing us in and being part of your family. And Rock's always been a thrill to work with you, and your 20th year in the booth is now in the books. Couldn't ask for a better partner. Thank you, pal.
You too, man. Good luck in the postseason. It's a blast coming to the ballpark. Homer Road, good working with you. You know, it's been a disappointing end of the season, but we've had a lot of fun this year.
We have, and a lot of memories. And the Brewers will come back, and hopefully they'll make a run at it next season. We've still got some business here. We got Brewers Live coming up. Craig Kashawn, Davey Nelson, Jerry Augustine standing by. Take us away, Craig.
All right, Brian, thanks very much. We're going to check back with you guys in just a moment. Also get inside the Brewer clubhouse for the final time and hear from Ron Renicky. Also a big no-hitter by a Wisconsin native we'll tell you about.